Georgia Swarm Lacrosse from the Infinite Energy Arena in Harris Cherokee Casino Field. The Georgia Swarm look to go 3-0 for the first time since 2008 when they take on the New England Black Wolves, who are 0-2 on the season. Hi everybody, I'm Mark Zinno. Welcome in alongside my partner Brian Silcott. Brian, the Swarm off to an impressive 2-0 start so far this year. It was an 18-14 win over Buffalo, and in the home opener here 2 weeks ago, an 18-10 win over the defending champs. Why have they been so successful?
I think last year I probably sounded a little bit like a broken record, saying over and over again the key to their offense was moving the ball. Well, they've been moving the ball this year. They lead the league in assists. They lead the league in goal score. As long as they keep doing that, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
And also Mike Poulin stepped in a free agent acquisition in the offseason. He's been fantastic.
Mike Poulin's a championship goalie. He's a championship caliber player. He knows how to lead a team to a championship, and that's what he plans to do this year here in Georgia.
Well, the Swarm look to continue their winning ways as they look to improve to 3-0 on this early season, taking on the New England Black Wolves here at the Infinite Energy Arena. It's going to be a great one this evening, folks. Stay tuned. And now we take a look at the ceremonial ball drop as we see both Jason Noble and that is Sean Evans for the New England Black Wolves doing the ceremonial ball drop, Brian. And as customary before every game, there is a ceremonial ball drop to get the festivities started. But let's get to the matter at hand. The Georgia Swarm looked a little revenge against a team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year.
Yep, they had a tough loss, and this guy right here killed him. Sean Evans is a heck of a player. Not a big man, but he plays big games. He's only about 5'8", but he can put the ball in the back of the net. He's one of the toughest kids in the game, and the Swarm are going to have to slow him down to get a win tonight. Sean Evans comes in with 9 points on the evening so far. And there's Mike Poulin, who's been outstanding. You know, Brody McDonald was pulled in the first game. He's played ever since and has been basically a brick wall back there. Yeah, and Mike Poulin's been around this league for a long time. He's won championships in Calgary. He's a fantastic goalie and the type of leadership they need back there.
Jay Thornburg of the Black Wolves and Connor Sellers getting the start tonight to take the face-off for the Swarm. Typically, those face-off duties would go to Jordan McIntosh, not playing tonight for personal reasons. So Connor Sellers getting that face-off duty, what we expect to be all night long. Swarm start with the first possession. And they've come out hot in the beginning of games, Brian. They've been able to score early and often.
Yeah, we talked about it before. It's the movement of the ball, and they've been very willing to share the ball, make the extra passes, keep the ball hot all over the floor, and it's led to a ton of goals for them. And
there was Lyle Thompson with the shot on net that was saved by goalie Evan Kirk of the Black Wolves, and a good first possession for the Swarm. And here we see Sean Evans, NLL MVP back in 2013 and 2015. He's been an All-Pro almost every year, and now we get the Swarm out on a breakout chance as it is a shot and a save right there by Evan Kirk. And it was John Ranigan, not usually the guy you see in the offensive zone, but he had an opportunity there.
Yeah, and a little bit of a hold there perhaps, but I don't think John Ranigan's going to get that call in this league. That's the kind that the offensive players get.
Evans with a shot, and Poulin comes up with an easy save. New England gets the possession back in a fresh 30 seconds. So it's been a quick start here in the first minute plus.
I like the pace. I think this will play into the Swarm's hand. One thing we got to be careful of here is that the Swarm doesn't want to kind of wake the sleeping bear. The New England's been struggling this year. They're lowest in the league in shots on goal, the lowest league in shots, and they're lowest in the league in scoring. But this team can score goals.
Poulin with another big save there on a low hard shot, and he quickly gets it out in transition to Miles Thompson. And a shot on the side of the net goes off, and I don't know if Kirk got a piece of that, but that was a nice give and go on the side of the net.
A beautiful give and go. The pace so far out of the Swarm is just outstanding.
And you can see it right here. Jerome Thompson sends it right across. Looked like to Matisse, and Matisse either caught the side of the net or Kirk got a piece of it. Nonetheless, a good scoring opportunity. And Georgia seems to be picking up right where they left off. A big save by Poulin right there on a point-blank shot from Evans. And Evans not afraid early on to take shots.
No, and they need to take shots. I mean, they have not been getting shots on net. They haven't been scoring all that much, but they also just haven't been taking shots.
And right there, Randy Statzler just hit the crossbar. Go ahead, Brian. I apologize.
I think that's got to be what they're talking about in the locker room, about getting into a flow. This is New England I'm speaking of. Getting into a flow, getting shots on net, and just having faith that they're going to fall.
Get our first look at Jordan Hall, who was a member of the Black Wolves last year. And when Jesse King went down with the torn ACL, Swarm ownership said, we need to have Jordan Hall. He's a five-tool guy, if you will, can do everything on the floor.
Absolutely, and that's what Jordan Hall has been known about. He was a goal scorer. He can put the ball in the net, but he really can play anywhere on the floor. You can run him as a defender if you needed to. He's great in transition, and he can run in the 5-on-5.
And I mentioned Ranigan a moment ago. The shot goes behind the net, and it gets stuck in the netting, and Poulin will corral it for the Swarm. giving them a possession. But Rannigan and Jordan Hall, members of the Black Wolves last year, so playing against their old teammates for the first time.
Yeah, yes. I think a quote from Jordan Hall was, "It's kind of like when you run into your
your ex-girlfriend.
Your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
You want to look good."
There you go, and a shot and another save by Kirk. That one from Miles Thompson, and a long outlet pass in transition, trying to be picked up by the Black Wolves, and it does. And now it's Brett Manny with the ball.
Brett Manny is a beast, fantastic athlete, American player, played at Delaware, just a ridiculous athlete. He'll be all over the floor this evening.
Here's Evans squared up against Tutton, comes around, and then pump fakes, now winds up for a shot, and another save by Poulin. He has come up big so far in the early going.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Poulin's seeing the ball thus far. He looks very comfortable in there.
Now here's Tutton moving into the offensive zone, so plenty of scoring chances early on for both teams. And now this Thompson right in the front, and is saved by Kirk. Thompson at point-blank range right in front of the crease.
Yeah, it looked like he almost hesitated for a moment, wasn't quite sure what to do. Got a little fake off, but not a great fake, and didn't open up any space to put the ball.
Now we're going to get a violation on the Black Wolves, and here's a look at Thompson from Tutton right there, all alone, and as you said, just kind of pump faked a little too long.
Yeah, and Kirk didn't move, right? You saw he didn't come off that pipe at all. I think Thompson was assuming he was going to move, and he was still standing there.
So 4 minutes in, both goaltenders coming up big, keeping this game scoreless. And now here's Matisse trying to work around a screen, dumps it over to Hall. 10 seconds left to shoot. Hall working inside, spins back, cuts it across to Stotts. His shot was deflected, comes back, and now Matisse fires one that is saved by Kirk. Pace is frenetic here in this start. As you said, Swarm kind of playing into their hands right now.
Yeah, love this pace. Absolutely love this pace. Obviously, they want to get the ball in the back of the net, but they have to have confidence that if they keep going this pace, moving the ball, it's going to fall eventually.
You and I were chatting with Swarm owner John a lot before the game. Said this is what he envisioned for this team. This kind of pace, this kind of scoring is what he wanted.
Yeah, when you look at the talent they have and the type of players they got, you know, they're guys that can move the ball and that are willing to share the ball, and they're guys that like playing together, which is critical for them. This is definitely what he's looking for.
Matisse feeds it over to Thompson, and Miles with a shot and another save. Wow. All these shots are low, and both goalies are just going down to get them all.
Yeah, both goalies have looked sharp so far.
Here's Kevin Crowley, one of the big scorers for the Black Wolves. Waiting for some help, looking across the pass, and then finally does off the mark, and then corralled by Pat Saunders. It's Saunders, Crowley, and Evans really are their big three, Brian.
Yeah, and Crowley was the kind of the hero of the Canadian team in the World Games last time around that beat the Americans. I think he had 5 or 6 goals. Big, tall, right-handed goal scorer.
Evans goes low. Poulin comes up with it once again. Now here's Crowley, although a fresh 30, and now it looks like we're going to get a violation on the Black Wolves, and Swarm will get the ball. So as we have over 10 minutes gone, both goalies coming up huge. Evan Kirk for the Black Wolves and Mike Poulin for the Swarm. And we find ourselves scoreless. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
It is time for my box bosses at number 3. It's been a difficult start for the Buffalo Bandits, but a bright spot in that lineup has been Ryan Benesh. He came up with 3 goals and 2 assists in week 1, and then followed that performance up with a 3-goal and 4 performance in week 2. The Bandits want to turn things around. They're going to have to rely on their offensive superstars, and Ryan Benesh is a player that they're going to need to lean on. He was good for the team, and he has to continue to be strong for them. At number 2, for the Colorado Mammoth, I have Callum Crawford in an extremely big night against the New England Black Wolves. 4 goals and 4 assists, 8 points in this game. A big reason for Colorado's big win over the Black Wolves. And then at number 1, I have Superman, Curtis Dixon, 6 goals, 1 assist over the Vancouver Stealth. Just played
for the Swarm, Evan Kirk for the Black Wolves. Keeping the ball out of the back of the cage so far, Brian.
Post there, I think, on that one.
Yeah.
And this ball is just all over the floor in the offensive end. I don't mean literally the floor. It's in the air the entire time. Just a fantastic job of moving the ball so far by the Swarm.
And very few play stoppages. I mean, that's really, usually there's a violation here and there, but both teams are getting shots, and shots on goal and keeping things moving. There's another one, and a save from Kirk as Miles Thompson gets the nod.
Yeah, the fans watching didn't get to see it, but my partner Mark here gave both teams a standing out during that break.
Yeah, I was very impressed. Well, I mean, part of the lore of indoor lacrosse, what we're always selling is it's fast-paced, and there's a lot of goals scored, and both these goaltenders are making that not to be the case so far.
but it has been fast-paced.
Pulling with another save, doesn't see the ball, and then finally almost rolled into the net. Evans put one right in the middle of Pullen's chest, and he saved it again.
Yeah, and Evans clearly has decided he's going to take some things into his own hand. And I think that's his fourth or fifth shot already tonight. It looks like we have a penalty coming.
Yeah, it's a delayed penalty as Jerome Thompson was mugged going towards the net. And then finally a whistle blows. So the Swarm will head to the power play with 8:18 left in the first quarter here as we have a delayed. Oh, we don't have a whistle. I could have sworn I heard a whistle.
They were playing 6-on-5 there for a moment.
My apologies. I heard a whistle. I might have been all the music in the background. But nonetheless, here's Mike Pullen with that big save from Evans, and you see it kind of falls to the ground. He almost kicks it in the back of the net.
Yeah, it looks like it went kind of under his left arm there, and he lost track of it for a moment.
New England penalty number 96, 2 minutes.
As we watch Bill O'Brien head to the penalty box.
Penalties have been a problem for New England thus far. The crazy thing is they've only had 3 power plays themselves, but they also lead the league in penalties with 20 power plays going against them thus far.
And ironically, I talked to you about this before the game, Sean Evans, their leading goal scorer, also leads the team in penalty minutes, which is not always common. Most of the guys who are big scorers don't spend a lot of time in the penalty box, and a shot right off the post goes all the way back to Mike Pullen. That was a laser.
And as I said, Sean Evans is a tough kid. He used to fight a lot. He's a scrappy guy. He doesn't fight as much anymore. He's too important in terms of scoring goals, but he's a tough guy.
And 20 left to shoot for the Swarm. Here's Thompson. Lyle, that is, over to Jordan Hall. Pump fakes and a shot. Looked like it was saved and tipped. And the Swarm will get a fresh 30. His Stotts winds up. That shot was deflected, but picked up behind the net. And another shot deflected. Didn't make its way to the goal. And the Swarm having plenty of chances here early. As Lyle Thompson shoots it off the side of the net, it looked like, and it goes back out. But they'll give the Swarm a fresh 30 seconds.
Georgia leads the league in power play goals with 11. And amazingly, Lyle Thompson's been involved in 10 of those 11 goals.
60 seconds left in the power play for the Swarm. Here's Hall pump faking, moving inside, and then dumps it back to Jackson. Stocks tries to wind up that shot, never made it to the net. Now the Black Wolves get it and try to get out in transition. And they get it to Sheldon Burns, who's running into a shorthand opportunity. Saved by Pullen.
2-on-1 opportunity there for New England. Good job defensively, kind of keeping the ball in the righty's hands, who was on the wrong side of the floor, forced him to take a shot from a bad angle.
And Burns is a defender. A lot of defenders would pull up in that spot and say, hey, we got a chance to kill 30 seconds of this power play and almost get out of here, but he chooses the shot. Now the Swarm have a chance with 10 seconds left. And Kyle Matisse with a shot and a save from Kirk.
I'm shocked we haven't had a goal yet.
I'm sitting here wondering, we're coming up on 6 minutes left. Have you ever seen a quarter in indoor lacrosse go scoreless by both teams?
Yeah, and you can't complain. I mean, the action's been fantastic. A lot of great opportunities, a lot of good ball movement. It's been fun to watch.
And so the penalty now killed off as O'Brien sprints to the bench. And you see Sean Evans working around the screen, coming to the top, and now a violation. They give the ball back to the Swarm.
That's the second.
Brian Cole, the rookie, scores! The rookie, Brian Cole, picks the ball up off a violation and was left alone to sprint to the offensive zone.
Yeah, they tried to slow him down. A big, strong kid out of the University of Maryland, Brian Cole, picking up a goal there. Great thing to see. Defenders getting involved. You guys can't get the ball in the net. Let a defender do the job.
And you can see a little extracurricular activity. Upset that Cole was allowed to walk in. And you see Kevin Crowley getting in his face. Interesting stat about Brian Cole. And his time at Maryland, went to 4 NCAA Final Fours, played in 3 championship games. You won't hear me tell him that they didn't win any, but he went to 3 championship games.
Yeah, Maryland's been on a great run under John Tillman.
But not winning any championships.
They haven't won any yet, but they didn't win any. But John Tillman's a heck of a coach and has done a fantastic job there.
My alma mater, Loyola, has a championship in that span.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
None for the Terps, though. All right, Swarm back out on offense and a wide shot from Shane Jackson. Now you can see Jackson getting into a little bit of a shoving match there right after his shot went away. And on the other end, Pullen comes up big again on Dan Ball. Burns with the rebound, waiting for some help. And then finally gets it. Now Evans tries to pump fake. You're starting to see this chippiness come out here, Brian.
Yeah, I think that frustration when you're not scoring goals. And New England in general has got to be a little bit frustrated with the way their season has gone thus far.
And now it's Buchanan. And it's intercepted by the Swarm. And here comes Jason Noble. It's a 2-on-1. with the rookie Liam Burns. Burns with a bounce shot that is over the net.
Yeah, it looked like they got a little trail check there that caused him to fire the ball down into the ground. But Liam Burns, rookie out of Long Island, played at Marquette, getting his first opportunity to play.
And Burns tries to bounce it in, and you know, he had Kirk down, just missed the top corner of the net. You'll see Burns, the most characteristic with that long hair.
Yep.
The Thompson has long hair, but they leave it in the braid and the ponytail. Not the case for Liam Burns. So the Swarm with a 1-0 lead in a fast-paced, tight game. 4:58 left in the first. You're watching Georgia Swarm lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday, there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday, we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds. We lost count countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just...
And it looks like a shorthanded opportunity coming, but the Black Wolves will pull up and try to just kill some clock here. As you take a look at Kyle Buchanan, his brother Kevin, also on the team. Things slow down here, obviously, in a penalty kill. They'll wait for the opportunity for a good shot as Kevin Crowley looks for one and misses the net wide, and the ball scoots into the stands. So the Swarm will take over with $1:15 left in the power play.
Yeah, generally on the short, you wait till the last 10 seconds or so, look for an opportunity to score, and fall back and get back into your man short defense.
Swarm not able to convert on their first power play of the evening. Let's see if they can do it here as we have 15 left to shoot. Here's Jordan Hall dumping it up to Lyle Thompson. Shot missed. Stotts misses again as well. Both of those shots off the boards and missing the net completely, but good opportunities nonetheless.
Good opportunities. Got to get the ball in cage. That's a simple rule of this game. You have to put the ball in cage. Opens up opportunities for rebounds. They missed 2 in a row there.
And Kevin Buchanan sprinting towards the back of the cage and then dumps it on the floor. And now it's loose. Swarm fighting for it, and then finally picked up, or not picked up by Rannigan, who decides to lay a check. And what a hit it was. Ethan O'Connor picks it up now, works right into the offensive zone. And the Swarm will wait as they got about 20 seconds left in this power play to get one final rush here. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. So looks like the penalty will expire before this shot clock will expire. Let's see what the Swarm can do here. 11 seconds left, and here's Shane Jackson. Now there's 8. And Randy Stotts back over to Miles Thompson with a low shot is wide. And the Black Wolves get the rebound, and quickly coming out of the box is Hodling, who's on a breakaway, and he slows things down and waits.
That was not a great job in the power play on both of those possessions, all 3 of the possessions in the power play. They really didn't do a great job of moving the ball.
And almost Hodling came out of the box right at the right time, giving an odd man rush as we get Buchanan with a shot that is bouncing off the turf and over the net. Ball comes back near midfield and then picked up by Jason Noble as he gets some checking going on. Noble sprinting in all along, winds up, shoots, and goes wide. Noble had a great opportunity. Talking about putting ball on cage, Brian.
Yeah, and a couple of players were scrapping there. I don't think the New England player even realized that Noble was running right past him with the ball.
You know, the goaltending was great in the first half. The physicality has picked up in the second half of this first quarter. A lot of hitting going on as the ball is dumped into the corner as we approach 2 minutes left in a 1-0 game so far. And here is Kyle Buchanan working in towards the middle and then dumps it back, and a shot that is wide over the net and picked up by the Swarm.
Let's continue to give some credit to these goals. It certainly has not been for a lack of shot opportunities that the score is 1-0.
O'Connor gives it to Lyle Thompson, who scores! That ball didn't miss the cage there.
No, it did not. Again, in transition there, this pace is fantastic for for the Swarm with the skill that they have, their ability to shoot the ball. If we keep going at this pace, we're going to see the scoring pick up for sure. Great job here of Lyle Thompson just setting his feet, putting it on the pipe, and beating the goalie.
Right over the right shoulder of Evan Kirk for his 5th goal of the year, giving him 17 points on the season. And he's the leading point getter so far for the Swarm. And Lyle, the #1 overall pick 2 years ago, really starting to come into his own in this league.
Absolutely. I think I think he's getting more comfortable playing more box again. Had a good summer this summer playing up north, and his thing has been the assist game. That's where he's getting a lot of his points. He's obviously can score goals, but he's just been running the offense, moving the ball, getting it to the right spots, and creating tons of opportunities for his teammates.
And oh, by the way, let's not sell short that Jay Thornburg taking the faceoff, best faceoff man in the league for the Black Wolves, and Connor Sellers has won a couple of them here right after the goal.
Connor Sellers won the opening faceoff. I was gonna mention that when that happened, but if they can win draws on top of everything else, things should really be going the Swarm's way this evening.
The Swarm are headed back to the power play, as it is Kevin Bucktooth.
26, 2 minutes illegal cross check.
Brett Bucktooth rather, heading to the penalty box for a cross check.
People think illegal cross checking is legal in this game, but you can't use it as an aggressive weapon. You are allowed to cross check. Cross checking is legal, but it can't be used as a weapon and overly aggressive.
And it also can't be in the shoulder, head, neck area. You can't cross check up there as well. As the league, very conscious of concussions and head injuries, as most sports are nowadays, but nonetheless, Swarm on a power play here for a chance to go up 3-0. That shot from Hall deflected, goes over the net, but Lyle Thompson gets the rebound. 10 seconds left to shoot for the Swarm. And Stocks with a laser that goes in. Swarm man found a weak spot right over the right shoulder of Evan Kirk.
Yeah, over the right shoulder, and both times feet set, 8 yards or so from the cage. I'm not sure why we're not stepping up there. You would expect O'Brien to step up and play that. When feet set there, Stotts is going to put it in a good place.
That's another one right after a Swarm goal. A quick shot from a New England Black Wolves player on a Swarm player.
Yeah, that's what O'Brien does. He's a tough guy. He's a big man. He's going to let Stotts know that he's not happy about the goal, but it's a goal.
So under a minute left, and while it took the Swarm a little while to get going, more than usual compared to the first 2 games, they find themselves in a comfortable position here as we're into the final minute. Here's Buchanan with a shot, and a huge save by Poole. What a save.
Nice work there by Tutton on that loose ball.
And now we're going to get a whistle and a violation on the Swarm. We'll give the ball back to the Black Wolves as the shot clock comes off now. And we have about 20 seconds left. We'll see what the Black Wolves decide to do. Hold for a last shot or try to get something aggressive here.
I would think, they'll pull their goalie and wait for the last shot here. So they'll be playing 6-on-5 for the rest of the period.
And the cage is empty. And here's Crowley with a long shot that bounces. And now it's Mitch Belisle sprinting out, who has a wide open net in front of him. All he's got to do is get it in there before the... And he does!
I'm thinking Kevin Crowley probably should have listened to me. You got to wait a little bit longer there before you take that shot, especially an outside shot like that, where there's a high probability of it bouncing out high and creating an easy opportunity for a Georgia goal. A big mistake there by Kevin Crowley.
Mitch Belisle doesn't get many of those opportunities as a defender, but his eyes were glaring at the size of a wide open net.
That is the ideal situation for Mitch Belisle to shoot and score. Mitch Belisle is an outstanding defender, but his job is to defend the net. Getting goals is just a huge bonus.
And the horn sounds, ending the first period, and the Swarm couldn't have asked for a better first 15 minutes. After a tight 6 minutes to start, they open it up with 4 goals in the last 6 and have a 4-0 edge here after 1 period. We'll take a timeout, come back with the start of the second quarter. You're watching Swarm Lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
The National Lacrosse League logo honors its over 30 years of history, but also pushes towards a new era. A new day. An updated colorway of black and silver illuminates the way forward, with technology and innovation as our mandate. The Shield captures the warrior spirit of the physical battle of sport while being modern enough to appeal to new audiences. The goal. By extruding the shape of the shield, the container is one that is a nod to the ubiquitous shape of a lacrosse goal. The original 4 arrows representing the founding of our league with 4 professional box lacrosse teams. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New Jersey, Philadelphia, converge to create the NLL star, a modern interpretation of a star that combines both the arrows of the original 4 teams and a Native American morning star. The 4 arrows converge to create the heart of the star representing the current teams and the fans who are the beacon of the future of the National Lacrosse League. This is the National Lacrosse League. Today is our day.
In the Swarm's favor, but scoreless for the first 6 minutes of the game.
Yeah, at that kind of pace, you would think if you had a 4-goal lead, it would be more like 6-2, 8-4 even in the first quarter. The Swarm doing a great job of getting back. Their goalie was big, two 2-on-1s they gave up, but the goalie was up to the task, and defensively really forcing some not so great shots out of New England.
And let's not underscore how big Mike Poulin was in the first 15 minutes, stopping every shot that came his way, and a lot of them at point-blank range.
Absolutely, every goalie in the world is going to be happy with a shutout quarter. Those don't happen all that often in this league.
Thornburg wins the faceoff there for the Black Wolves as the team switch sides. And the physicality has picked up, as you can see. Thornburg getting checked and pushed around there on both ends, and a lot of Swarm players getting some extracurricular activity after goals. As Thornburg's shot is saved by Poulin.
If that's good, if that's the New England offense, the Swarm will be quite happy. If it comes down to their faceoff guy going one-on-one and going to the net.
And Stotts gives it over to Matisse, who gets it right back. Now down in the corner. And Jerome Thompson working his way through. Matisse dumps it in.
Yeah, I talk a lot about the ball movement. If you're watching this game, pay attention to the player movement as well. It's just absolutely constant out of the Swarm. They're moving the ball, but everybody's engaged, everyone's involved, moving, picking, sliding into gaps continuously on this offense. It's a lot of fun to watch.
14 minutes left in the second quarter, and a 4-0 lead for the Swarm, and Black Wolves trying to corral the ball and do not, and so the Swarm will start the possession. And joining us here in our booth is Swarm defender Drew Petkoff, who is not dressed tonight. Drew, welcome. Thank you for being part of our festivities here this evening.
My pleasure to be back.
Yeah, you filled in admirably for Brian in the first game. So Brian not able to get here due to weather in Atlanta, and Drew did an outstanding job standing in, but your kind of thoughts in the first 15 minutes so far, Drew?
Well, definitely a good game so far for the Swarm. We're really pushing the pace, and it's just been just a really good effort to set the tone of the first part of this game.
So New England back out on offense, and there is Kevin Buchanan working his way in and then dumps it off with 12 left to shoot to Saunders. His shot is saved and goes wide, and a fresh 30 for the Black Wolves as it rolls all the way back to Evan Kerr.
I got to think, Drew, defending this offense in practice, when you play against other teams, it has to almost seem like they're moving in slow motion because your offense is so active and keeps the ball so hot all the time.
Yeah, one of the biggest things with our offense is that the ball does not die in anybody's stick. It's always moving, always moving, always moving. And we don't have one specific quarterback of our offense. The ball is shared equally by every member. So it makes it really tough on us in practice to defend that. And it's definitely a different look when you have a team that has kind of a quarterback like a Sean Evans. So it definitely changes the dynamic of things. And sometimes it makes it easier, but you have to still respect that person that is holding onto that ball.
Especially when it's Sean Evans, too, who can play the game.
And here we get a look at Riley O'Connor, dumps it behind the cage with 12 left to shoot for the Black Wolves. And there is Evans trying to work his way through. He gets checked to the turf, and somehow the ball ends up in the net. I saw him throw it over his shoulder. I don't know if that's where it went in or it was deflected in, but Evans took a hard hit right to the turf, and that's why he's one of the top scorers in the MVP of this league, a two-time MVP of this league.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it went in. So he came up through a backhanded shot. We'll see it here in the replay.
Or was that O'Connor who had it?
O'Connor that scored.
Oh, it was Riley O'Connor. I saw it him get checked, and somehow the ball ended up in Riley
the ball
O'Connor's
popped
stick.
out of Evan's stick as he went to throw it back in. It just popped out of his stick. O'Connor picked it up and threw it in the net.
So the brick wall that was Mike Pullen has been penetrated. It's certainly not his fault on that one. I mean, all of us were kind of thrown off guard there a little bit.
I don't think anyone in the venue knew where the ball was,
except for Riley O'Connor. So the Swarm, the Black Wolves rather, finally get on the board. We'll see if the Swarm can respond. And here is Stotts on the right side of the cage, kind of around the screen for a shot that is wide. And Matisse has it and then loses it, but Shane Jackson picks it up. And Lyle Thompson with another shot and never got out of his stick, picks up the loose ball, jumps in and scores! Oh, the West are going to wave it off. They're going to say his foot was in the crease.
That was close to a shot clock as well. We were down really tight on the shot clock on that one.
Incredible effort, though, by Lyle.
Spectacular effort.
Here we go.
I got to wonder sometimes, Drew, and you can speak to this, when you wind up that hard to take a shot and your arms and your stick gets hit, that almost seems like it's going to hurt sometimes. Like, there's a lot of force behind his shot. As you see here, he looked like he was
they may have called the shot. I don't know. I didn't hear the shot clock busting off. That was a spectacular shot.
That didn't look like he stepped in the crease, but I saw the referee point to the crease like he was over it. Nonetheless, Swarm back out on offense. Here's Matisse around a screen, a shot that's deflected and saved by Kirk. And Miles Thompson picks it up, and the shot clock at 30, and the Swarm offense will get reset.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get another look at that. That was a spectacular shot by Thompson, and it really did not look like he went in the crease.
Matisse working inside, having to pull back up, gives it over to Lyle. As the Swarm work the ball around, Shane Jackson now looking in for a shot that is saved by Kirk.
What do you think, Drew? You got younger eyes than me, Drew.
I mean, he certainly did not land in the crease. That ball is in the net. That's a goal.
Yeah, I was thinking that right away that was probably a good goal. Like you said, unless it was for the shot clock violation, but I don't think that was the case either. I think that the ref was behind Lyle when Lyle shot it, so he didn't get a clear view of the ball going in the net.
We got a timeout here on the floor.
That's unfortunate just because that would be a great one to have in your pocket.
I mean, and I don't even know, did Coach Eddie Coleman get a chance to throw his challenge flag on it?
Yeah,
it had to have been a shot clock. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't looking at the shot clock at the time. I was watching where his feet were, and it looked like a goal. But
yeah. So Drew, you want to talk a little bit about the what's going on down there on the floor?
So basically, all the goalies get measured before the game to make sure that all their padding is within certain regulations, and they measure them again just to make sure that after they get measured the first time that they're not changing their equipment. So they're measuring once, coming back and just checking that measurement one more time. But this one's a quicker measurement. Again, just to make sure that the goalies don't have their padding too big. Obviously, they're already quite large, but just to make it a little bit easier for us to score on them.
a little easier, a little bit less difficult, right?
Goals been at a premium so far tonight, and let's not make it any harder, to say the least. As you take a look at Evan Kirk, and Kirk, one of the top goaltenders in this league this year, comes in at 0-2 and at 13.11 goals against average.
Yeah, they're very similar in save percentage, both around 78% of the goals being saved.
Mike Pullen, however, 98 minutes so far this year, coming in tonight, 10.3 goals against average, and only allowed 17 goals in one game plus. So it is a 4-1 lead for the Swarm here. 9:48 left in the first half, and the Swarm will start out with the ball in a fresh 30 seconds on their shot clock. And Jordan Hall will have to walk it all the way back towards his goal before we start, and play has resumed. And here is Randy Stotts coming around a screen, dumps it over to Shane Jackson. Jackson tries to work in the corner, errant pass, and luckily goes back to Jordan Hall. Now back to Jackson. 12 left to shoot. And now Randy Stotts comes around a screen for a low shot that is wide of the net. And it bounces all the way back out near the middle of the field, and Jason Noble is there to pick it up, and we'll get an over and back call, and the Black Wolves will take over.
Stotts looks much more mobile, I think, than he did last year, and definitely than he did when he was playing at Syracuse University. It seems like his knee is getting better and better as time passes.
We approach 9 minutes left here in the second quarter. And you can see the Black Wolves constantly circling, looking for that opportunity. And that's Kyle Buchanan. And there's a shot from Chad Culp, a save from Poulin. And now here is Chad Tutton out in transition all by himself as some New England defenders come in. Tutton backs his way in with it. Behind the head shot saved by Kirk. Nifty shot by Chad Tutton.
And New England's having a really tough time penetrating this defense. I mean, they really have not gotten in front of the cage at all yet.
Drew, how many times you see that behind the head shot from Chad?
I actually don't. I feel like we don't see that too much because he uses his big body to kind of get in front of the net. And I think he tried to do it there as well, but the defender matched up well with him. But it did leave him that behind the net.
That's a great job by Kyle Matisse to fight for the ball and buries it in the back of the cage. Matisse, you see that right up against the boards, just using his big body, that 6'5" frame to box out a guy and pick up a ball, and they say no goal.
Yeah, tough play out there, Matisse. I think this one he did step in the crease. Yeah, caught that left toe, it looks like, in the crease on the takeoff. Great effort out of Matisse, though.
And a ball deflected in front of Poulin, and he gives it out in transition. Here's Ethan O'Connor all alone, picks it up, shoots and save from Evan Kirk. Ball loose on the turf.
And O'Connor going through the crease there to get the ball.
Here's
violation.
Matisse again. As you can see, her foot barely on the
caught
white.
that toe.
Barely on the white. Wow.
High flying action from the Georgia Swarm, though, tonight.
Halfway through the second quarter, the shot is wide off the boards and then picked up back by New England. That was a nifty pass right there. No look behind the back. Poulin comes up with a save, regardless it was a shot clock violation on the Black Wolves. Pace has still stayed pretty consistent.
It really has. They're still flying. I think the big difference I see thus far in this game is that New England is not getting to the front of the net, and Georgia is. Georgia's getting the ball and getting shots with much better opportunities, like right there. They're getting the ball in close to the crease, and New England's just not able to penetrate the Georgia defense thus far.
Stotts giving a little extra of the business to Brett Manny right in front of the official. And the Black Wolves will come out with the ball on offense. Again, we see Liam Burns with his very long hair. Shot by Buchanan wide. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Ball picked up by Burns, the rookie making his debut tonight for the Swarm. Drew, tell us about Liam Burns. What's it been like working with him since he's got here?
He's got quite the motor on him. I think in both of our exhibition games, he surprised everybody with just how hard he goes for the loose balls and how well he handles them.
A shot from Miles Thompson is wide, goes into the stands, and Black Wolves will take over.
I think Coach was surprised, and John Arlotta was a little surprised as well at how well he did through the tryout and through camp.
15 left to shoot for New England. Here's Saunders working his way in, and another save by Poulin. Wow, he is on fire right now. Long outlet pass. Oh, almost makes its way to Shane Jackson, but intercepted by Zach Reed of New England. And now Hodelink can't corral, and here comes the Swarm. It's Leo Storos.
That was kind of our first bit of sloppy play right there with back-to-back turnovers.
Storos also selected by the Swarm in the second round of the entry draft this past year. 6-foot defender out of Colgate, is saved by Evan Kirk. And you see Miles Thompson fighting for it against the boards. As the scrum ball gets pushed back into the Swarm offensive zone, Stotts picks it up. Now here's Lyle.
Smart play by Lyle there with the reset on the shot clock. Pulled out, get the offense going rather than forcing something.
Drew, we were commenting before about Lyle really starting to come into his own. Have you noticed a difference in his play from last year to this year?
I think just watching him, he has a lot more poise out there. He's calmer with the ball, taking smarter shots, and just being more accurate with shot because of that poise. So he's just really settled down and has become really, really comfortable with this version of the game.
And a check from Burns right there. Ball gets loose in the turf, picked up by New England. 14 left to shoot for the Black Wolves. And here is O'Connor with the lone goal so far for New England, and a weird shot, and Poulin has to kind of change directions to save it.
I think that what Drew just said there is an important thing that a lot of people don't realize. Everything, the transition is difficult from field to playing in the NLL, which it is. But also for Canadian players, this is a different game than is played in the WLA and the major series. And it takes a little while to get used to it, even for the Canadian guys.
Shane Jackson with a shot that's deflected wide by Kirk comes back to him. Swarm get a fresh 30. And this Swarm is just pouring on the shots. They have 21 shots already, and there's still 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And there's another one that is wide as Jerome Thompson makes his way towards the cage and misses the net completely.
The pace, I mean, it's frenetic, the pace. That's the best word I can think of. They just keep coming at you.
And Matisse's pass was not able to make its mark, and it's picked up by New England as we see Mitch McMichael bring it in. And another save by Poulin deflected into the stands, and the netting behind the stands. So we will get a timeout. Mike Poulin, you're looking at him right there. He's come up huge so far through nearly the first 30 minutes as he has stopped everything but one shot in his way, as he does right there. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
He's got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Welcome back to Harris Cherokee Casino Field at Infinite Energy Arena. The Georgia Swarm lead the New England Black Wolves 4-1 as we have a little over 4 minutes left in the second quarter. The pace has been very, very exciting, although both goaltenders doing their job as they are stopping pretty much everything that they see.
Absolutely. I think the Swarm has gotten far more shots on cage thus far, but the pace has just been wonderful to watch.
There's Chad Culp. And O'Connor, 17 on the shot clock. Buchanan on the far left side to Evans, who's working his way towards the middle, dumps it in. And another save by Poulin, or either that, the shot was bounced into the netting behind. Obviously, it looks like Poulin got a piece of it because this Black Wolves got the ball back.
Almost looked like a set play there coming out of that break.
Well, it's something that New England could use at this point in time because they really haven't had a lot of good scoring opportunities. Poulin's made a lot of saves, and there's another one right there as the ball's buried right in his chest. And Ethan O'Connor comes out to sprint it to the offensive zone. He'll slow up and wait for a line change from the Swarm. Fighting off a check, O'Connor working in towards the middle and feeds it over to Jerome Thompson to score. I'm sorry, Shane Jackson. Ethan O'Connor doing all the dirty work.
Yeah, you mentioned the word poise before, Drew. Great poise by Ethan O'Connor. Just getting harassed all over the place, kept his composure, waited for the defender to get out of position, ran past him, and I don't want to say it was easy, but Shane Jackson kind of had the easy part on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Ethan definitely made a great play to get open, and I think that him charging to the net, all the New England players just turn their head, leave Shane wide open on the crease, which is definitely not what you want.
Not the guy you want standing there all by himself.
Coming up on 2.5 left in the second quarter. And Evans trying to work his way. Another save by Poulin. Wow. Evans kind of just threw it on the cage there, and Poland kicked it.
Poland looks very, very comfortable. Really at ease in the net right now.
As Connor Sellers giving it back to Randy Stotts. And now we're watching Lyle Thompson and Matisse. And it's funny to think that, you know, everything's going so well for the Swarm offensively when guys like Johnny Powers and Jordan McIntosh aren't in the lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, adding Johnny Powers to this lineup will be very, very interesting. And obviously Jordan in the transition game is just fantastic. Jordan's one of those do-everything kind of guys.
And Powell is still recovering from an injury. McIntosh not here tonight for personal reasons. There's Randy Stotts, leading point getter for the Swarm last year, tries to dump it in the corner. Matisse finally corrals it as we have 14 on the shot clock. There's Jerome Thompson. Over to Stotts for a low shot that is off the net completely.
They do seem to be picking on that right shoulder a little bit there with the shots in various different ways.
Mitch McMichael brings it deep into the offensive zone, then dumps it back to Kyle Buchanan. 13 on the shot clock for New England. Now ball hits the turf and being fought for, it looks like by Chad Culp. Ball's back on the turf, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Saunders gets it, and they have to throw it in front of the net, and it's scooped in for a goal. That's unfortunate. Kevin Crowley was the beneficiary of that. A very sloppy 10 seconds for New England, and the ball ends up right in front of Kevin Crowley.
To the Georgia defense, New England has 2 goals, and both of them were off of kind of fluke plays. They have not gotten inside of this defense once. One was a loose ball that trickled into the center. The other one was a missed shot that popped up in the air, and they caught it and threw it in the net.
You can see Crowley's reaction to say, I'll take it. I mean, we'll take it. Nothing else has gone right for them so far to this point.
And the scary reality here for Georgia is that as well as they're playing, as much as they've dominated this game, they're still only up by 3. And we all know that 3 goals in this league is absolutely nothing.
You know, and Connor Sellers took the face-off there, did everything there for his team to win it, just Georgia couldn't corral it. That's unfortunate. Against one of the best face-off guys in the league as we're under a minute left here in the first half. And ball is dumped deep in the corner. Evan Kirk has to come out and get it. He gets checked, and 2 players hit the turf, and then Kirk throws an elbow to a Swarm player, and that was a high elbow. I can't see who it is. It looks like it's that Chad Tutton down there.
I think they could have called 2 penalties on that play.
Yeah, that's Chad Tutton right there, 37. He got a high elbow from Evan Kirk, who came easily about 30 feet out of the crease. First he hits Shane Jackson, who gets hit in the back by Zach Reed. And here's Ethan O'Connor coming up. And there's the elbow right to the head right there. And Ethan O'Connor still down on the turf.
Was there a penalty called?
And Shane Jackson motioning for someone to come over and take a look at Ethan O'Connor.
It didn't look like any penalties were called, but certainly you could have called probably 2. One on, I think it was the defensive player who was hitting Shane Jackson from behind.
Zach Reed, yeah, who came up behind.
Yeah.
But clearly, the hit to the head is illegal.
Right, so this is
Zach Reed checking right there.
Shane
Jackson from behind. And now you'll see Evan Kirk rise the elbow right up into the head of Ethan O'Connor. That's got to be a penalty.
That could be a fine. That may well be a fine, whether it's a penalty or not. How they're going to get out of that with no penalties is beyond me.
on the original play, Zach Reed, somewhat understandably, coming to his goalie to make sure that he doesn't get hit too hard. But still, it was a hit that was interference and from behind, so probably should have been a penalty. And then I think the whistle might have even gone when Kirk hit OC, Ethan O'Connor.
Right, I mean, Reed will take a penalty there, right? He's sticking up for his goalie, but you got to call the penalty.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
All right, they are giving a New England penalty.
Which one did they call?
And I see, is that Ryan Hodeling going to? Yeah, he's serving as an in-home. I'm not sure if they're calling it on Evan Kirk. Right. I would assume it has to be on Evan Kirk if the in-home player is serving it. So, nonetheless, the Swarm will go to a power play.
A little bit of a mic malfunction there when he called it. He just got feedback.
But I would assume the league will take a look at that Evan Kirk shot. I mean, again, I mentioned it before, lacrosse, like every other sport, is conscious of head injuries. Drew, as you know, going out there's a lot of rules in place to avoid contact to the head and neck area, and he clearly gave him an elbow right to the helmet.
Right, and I don't think Evan Kirk was necessarily trying to hit him in the head. Most goalies don't spend a lot of time.
Take a look at it one more time, Brian. As you said, there's Zach Reed coming to the aid of his goalie, which you kind of get.
Right, that's not a violent hit, but it is illegal. He gets him right in the back. That's right up in the head.
And that's intent to injure right there at that point.
And it really, O'Brien ultimately cross-checks him in the back of the neck as well.
I think Kirk probably saw Ethan O'Connor coming and was presuming that he was coming to hit him as well. So he was bracing himself and kind of crossed that threshold where that guy is coming to hit me, I'm going to hit him first. But then you saw Ethan pull up and kind of look at the ball. I don't know if that was because the whistle had blown or if he just saw the ball loose, and he stopped. He looked down at the ball, and that's when Kirk just kind of kept going and almost like followed through on the check.
Which, important thing, net, power play Swarm.
Well, that's where we are right now after all that. That was the longest whistle stoppage we've had in this first half. And the Swarm now back in action with the shot clock off. Let's see if the Swarm decide to pull the goalie, something that the Black Wolves did at the end of the first quarter, and it cost them.
They're already on a power play, though, so they will not pull the goalie because the extra man really doesn't help them when they already have the power play.
And here is Stotts working in, shot is wide of the net as the horn sounds, ending the first half. So the Swarm will start the second half with a minute 35 power play, but a 5-2 lead for the Georgia Swarm here. Lots of action. We'll come back and recap it all and start the second half as well. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
My name is Brian Lemon. I'm Vice President of Lacrosse Operations in the National Lacrosse League. I handle all competitive aspects of the game, and certainly excited to be here with Cross.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday, there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check, and the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds, we lost count countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
The Georgia Swarm Pro Lacrosse team returns home on Saturday, February 11th at 7:05 p.m. to take on rival New England at Harris Cherokee Casino Field at Energy Arena. The Swarm is offering you a special deal for the February 11th contest. Come see the fastest game on 2 feet for only $27. You'll receive a lower level ticket and a commemorative Swarm scarf. To purchase, call 844-4GA-SWARM or visit georgiaswarm.com. Free parking at all home games. Swarm Pro Lacrosse. Come for the game. Stay for the party.
Welcome, lacrosse fans. Tyson Geik of NLL Productions here with you right now, and I'm joined by Shay Hewen, CEO and founder of the U-Hawk Camera. We have some exciting news for you today. The NLL has officially partnered with the U-Hawk Camera, the new official action camera of the National Lacrosse League. Shay, an exciting moment, for both parties here.
Yeah, it's an incredible day. It's a big step and a big moment in the history of sports, and for the National Lacrosse League to be the first league to step up and bring actual player point of view, video footage to fans at home in the actual real raw competition in the season. It's a monumental day, and we're very excited to be the official camera provider to be a part of that.
It's a very pivotal moment for the sport. How is it going to affect the sport at the grassroots level and really help grow the game?
Well, that's a big part of it, and a lot of what went into the decision making and making this happen is we have a lot of partners now who are kind of coming around and going to help, content and grow the game together. And a lot of these kids, they live on social media these days, so to be able to provide them a new angle, even after the game, to see these highlights is going to be extremely engaging. And the National Lacrosse League is a big part of growing the game, and we're happy to assist in that.
A very sleek and compact design for these. I think players are going to really enjoy wearing them. What went into the design here?
Well, we knew we wanted to be here someday. And in order to do that, we had to think of a camera that was going to be, sleek and slick enough that the player would forget he's even wearing it. So we wanted to design something, that would do just that and kind of embody the essence of an athlete. And, the great is that these players now actually get to see the game again from their own eyes, and to be able to do that game over game throughout the course of a season is really going to help them perform, and they're excited about it as well.
Well, lacrosse is such a tough sport, and hitting is involved here, so how much of a beating can these cameras take?
Well, I think we're going to put them to the test today, so they're very durable, and they sit in just the right spot, so we're going to find out.
Shay, we got the chance to catch up with some of the players to see what they thought of the new U-Hawk camera.
Hey, I'm Jesse Gamble of the Toronto Rock in the NLL, and this is what you're going to see. These will help a lot, even studying our own games, especially for goalies and seeing shots, and for my own game, just kind of going through where I was looking, maybe where I should have been looking and I wasn't, so I think they'll help improve my game.
I think it'll help on the defensive side of things, catching guys' tendencies, which way they want to go, which way they usually go, and everything like that. I think the camera will definitely help with that.
Stay with it, stay with it! Oh, nice lock.
Hello everyone, Mia Gordon here from NLL Productions, and we have some exciting breaking news for you today. The NLL has announced a partnership for this upcoming season with Epic Lacrosse. We are joined now with NLL Commissioner Nick Sakevich, as well as owner and founder of Epic Lacrosse, James Maselli. So let's get right into it. Nick, I want to send this to you. Can you talk to us a little more about this partnership?
Yeah, so we've been really focused on a lot of the endemic category sponsors, and we're proud to announce that Epic's joining us with many of our previously announced companies like Under Armour and String King. We're really excited to bring Epic on board. They're a best-in-class producer of incredibly good lacrosse equipment, great lacrosse equipment that our players will have access to. Love the company, love the company's core values and commitment to lacrosse, and it's really exciting to bring world-class companies like this to the league.
James, what are you looking forward to most joining the NLL in 2017?
Yeah, Mia, thanks for having me today. At Lacrosse, we're very excited. This is our first partnership with a pro league, and we're excited that the best lacrosse players in the world will be using our gear next season, from sticks and heads and mesh to shafts, gloves, arm guards, shoulder pads. They're using the whole lineup that we have.
James, I know you guys have a set of engineers at Epic Lacrosse to create the best possible equipment. So can you take us through that process?
Sure, absolutely. I think it all begins with a passion and love for the game, and all of our engineers who range from composite engineers to material engineers to mechanical engineers, have all played lacrosse. So they have a understanding of the game unlike any other. We don't have to try to explain what they're looking for. They understand the feel. They understand the performance attributes that players want. So with that, the rest of the company, every single person in our company has actually played lacrosse as well, including our accounting department, marketing department. So we all get in a room and we brainstorm. We like to think of ourselves as problem solvers, understand what is wrong with the game or what do we want to fix things from an equipment standpoint, and we brainstorm and we figure it out. And the process is probably the most fun part of my job. I would think that they agree as well. And we just continue looking for new materials, new process, manufacturing techniques that can build better products for us.
What do you believe will be the biggest difference for these players while using this new equipment?
Sure. I think it's going to come down to feel. Feel is one of those words that it's hard to attach other descriptors around it. We just can say, hey, it feels better. And some of the feedback that we've gotten from the players initially is, wow, I can't believe how nice these gloves feel. We can put a bunch of marketing and technical aspects behind that, but the feel of the product is really what separates it. We're using better materials, better manufacturing process to improve that feel and the connection point between the player and his equipment. And I think the moment that players actually put the gloves on or use one of our sticks, they immediately feel the difference between everything that they've ever used in their career. And we're seeing that every day when we're sending product out to our potential players for this season.
Nick, I know that you said you believe partnering with Epic Lacrosse will take the game to the next level. Can you elaborate on this?
Well, the sport of lacrosse is growing so dynamically on both sides of the border, both in Canada and the U.S., and Epic understands that, and all of our partners understand that. And I think the timing for the sport and where we're going to see the sport grow in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be exponential. And having partners like Epic on board and in our family of marketing partners is going to help us grow the sport even further, be it at the grassroots level, like kids playing in high school. We see a huge increase in women playing the game. And at the professional level, the fact that we have a partner like Epic and others that we've announced in the last several weeks is really critical for a league like ours to grow.
Well, a very exciting announcement today, gentlemen. Thank you both so much for joining me. Cannot wait to see what this partnership will bring in 2017. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
Halftime here at the Infinite Energy Arena in Harris Cherokee Casino Field as the Swarm lead the New England Black Wolves 5-2. I'm Mark Zinno, joined by Brian Silcott and Swarm leader Drew Petkoff. An interesting first half. Pace was fast, but the Georgia Swarm took advantage early on and were able to put some balls in the back of the cage, Brian.
Yeah, it was back and forth, up and down the floor. Early on, we got a defender scoring down there. Brian Cole putting it down the bottom right-hand corner, and a couple shots up over Kirk's right shoulder. They got the juices flowing a little bit there for the Swarm.
Mitch Belisle with the empty netter. And then the story of the half was also Mike Poulin, as we watch one more goal here from Shane Jackson. But Mike Poulin was fantastic, Drew. And when you get a half like this from your goaltender, you can't do much else but be happy.
Absolutely. And one of the big things with goaltending is being out there and playing your angles well. And Mike Poulin does an excellent job. And I think the Swarm D needs some credit for forcing the bad shots or forcing the less than ideal shots to allow Poulin to get into those angles and make those saves.
Yeah, that's been huge, I think. They have not been able to penetrate the defense. It's been great. He plays the angles perfectly, and the defense is doing a great job of forcing those shots that are less than ideal.
So second half about to get underway as Lyle Thompson and Jay Thornburg take the face-off. And, you know, Brian, you said it succinctly at the end of the first half, for as well as Georgia played and as much as they outplayed New England, this is still only a 3-goal game.
Yeah, tight. I mean, they got to be careful here, and I'm sure they were talking coming back out onto the bench about we need to get the first one here.
Well, Swarm starting out the second half on a power play here. Have yet to convert on the power play coming into tonight. Best power play team in the league. So there is 8 seconds left to shoot. And there's Jerome Thompson. And the pass misses its mark as the shot clock's about to expire here. And that was not the first start of the half that Ed Como won.
I think they got the look they wanted there, but the New England defender, I think, just nicked the ball with the head of his stick.
So there's 54 seconds left in the man advantage for the Swarm, and now you get a shorthanded opportunity from Pat Saunders there. Well, that's Brett Manny, rather. And Poulin comes up with another save. Poulin stopped 21 shots, rather, in the first half.
Brett Manny, as I said, a heck of an athlete. He's going to run by people. He's not a goal scorer in this league, but he is a super athletic dude. Plays defense, runs a bit in transition.
30 seconds, 10 on the shot clock for the Swarm. Jordan Hall with a low shot save by Evan Kirk right between his legs. And now a pass intercepted by Lyle Thompson as Evan Kirk tried to look for Brett Manny, and Thompson stepped right in the passing lane, and the Swarm will get to try to utilize 10 more seconds of a power play here.
Kirk, I don't know why he didn't just give it to the defender that was standing right in front of him. I think he must have seen something we couldn't see from up here, but that was not a wise decision.
And Hodelin comes out of the box, right into the defensive zone. 9 seconds on the shot clock. And Kyle Matisse with a shot and scores!
That's big. That's big. Getting that first one, getting it up to a 4-goal lead is, I think, critically important after only leading by 3. With an outstanding first half, getting it to 4 right away, I think it's big for the mental state for the Georgia Swarm.
Absolutely, and Matisse catches kind of an errant pass almost, and is able to just bring it back and kind of put the Swarm back on pace in terms of setting the tone, being the ones who are dictating the pace of play and dictating the score.
Well, technically not a power play goal because Hodelin was out of the box, but, you know, you finish that offensive set and it almost counts as one, not in the stat sheet, but at least, you know, for the Swarm.
In the coach's mind, yeah. When you look at, you talk about behind the back pass, that was a great use of the behind the back passer, but there was no alley with a traditional pass. He had to go behind the back to create the space to deliver that ball.
And it's also a tough pass to make forehand because you have to go across your body.
And the Black Wolves commit a violation, and the Swarm come out in transition. And here is Chad Tutton, all low but wide. He goes back towards the middle of the floor, and the Swarm get it back, but the shot clock's still running. 17 left to shoot.
Tutton looking for the same shot Cole scored on earlier, showing the stick wide, pulling it back to that near low corner.
That was a sweet move by Jordan Hall through traffic. Could not convert on a save by Evan Kirk, but he certainly had to work to get that shot opportunity. Matisse with another low shot and a save from Kirk.
The other thing I'm noticing is all the movement, both with the ball and with the feet by Georgia in the offense, provides a lot of opportunities for them to gain the ball back in the offensive set because the defense is so involved with guarding everybody, it's difficult to pick up loose balls.
Absolutely. The more movement the offensive players are participating in, the more opportunities it is for the defense to make a mistake.
And gentlemen, one thing we haven't spent a lot of time talking about tonight is look at this combination of guys on defense as a Black Wolves shot goes wide and they have a shot clock violation. But Cole, Storos, Ranigan up front on defense have been so effective tonight.
Yeah, that's what I think during the offseason, that was something that they were talking about. They wanted big athletic guys like Ranigan, and now they have a bunch of them. And this is a formidable defense. We talk a lot about the O, but this is a formidable defense that they have.
We'll have to step up here as Ethan O'Connor gets a 2-minute penalty for holding the stick, and the Swarm will head to the penalty for the first time tonight. The penalty kill, rather.
Something we talked about before the game is that New England has hardly gotten any power play opportunities on the season, and they actually have a really percentage high power play conversion rate.
Big save by Poole, and there after the shot from Sean Evans.
Yeah, they came into this game -9 on the specialty teams, and largely because they've only had 3 opportunities for the power. They scored on 2 of them, but they've only had 3 opportunities. That's incredible.
And Crowley with a shot. Huge save by Poole. Wow, that was a great save.
It's pretty unbelievable to only have 3 power plays in 2 games.
I think they also don't have a lot of shots. I think they haven't been putting the type of pressure on defenses to force defenses to make mistakes and commit penalties.
You know, you're watching Evans take a lot of shots and load up, you know, kind of at point-blank range. His plays aren't really set. You think he's doing that because this team hasn't been scoring as they put one in the back of the cage there, but because of the offensive troubles they've had, and he's pressing a little bit?
Probably there. And that one, I thought he was going to shoot it again. He made a brilliant look to the backside there. But yeah, Sean Evans, if his team is not doing well, is going to try to do something to change it, absolutely. Back in the day, he would just get a fight when his team wasn't doing well. Now he tries to score goals.
And Evans feeds Chad Culp, who goes right over the right shoulder of Mike Poulin, and it's back to a 3-goal game, 6-3. Chad Culp's 2nd goal on the season. Other thing to note that's weird, New England starting the season with 3 straight road games. This is their 3rd consecutive road game to start the year. And they are 0-2 so far. Swarm obviously 2-0. And here is Kevin Crowley, who's matched up against Ranigan, former teammates together. Gets it back, comes around the screen, and Poulin with the save. Poulin, great job stepping out right there to come out and make that save.
And Crowley's a beast. He's got big, long arms. He can shoot the ball with a defender all over him.
And Evans slips, falls to the turf, somehow gets a pass off, and gives it over. Who works around Brian Cole. Now Evans gets it back. 13 on the shot clock. Evans looking for some help, comes around the screen, tries to throw it in the corner, and Ranigan with a check of Chad Culp sends him to the turf. Culp gets it back, dives in the middle, Poulin with a save. Boy, there was a lot of hard hitting by the Swarm.
There was, and the organization on that defense is just looking very sharp.
That defense gets a well-deserved break there, Drew. That was a good physical possession.
Actually, they don't. There's a turnover. I'm not sure what happened, but
let's take a look at this last save here by Mike Poulin. As you see Chad Culp with a low shot. Poulin able to get down and stop right in the center of his pads. Actually, Culp tried to go high as he was going down low.
He tried to pull it back up as he was diving. I think Poulin read it well, though.
We'll get a timeout with 9:46 left in the 3rd quarter. The Swarm leads 6-3 over the Black Wolves. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
Have one, hey, Rosie? Come on, boys.
Commit to togetherness. Commit to team. Let's get off to a great start here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Run. Nice seal, Husser. Yeah, baby.
Right.
Nice find, bro.
Yeah, automatic.
Nice seal, Husser. Hey, Hick, you just shoot it, eh, buddy?
9:46 left in the third quarter here at Harris Cherokee Casino Field. Let's try that again. And the Infinite Energy Arena. I'm Mark Zinno, stumbling over my own words alongside Brian Sokot and Swarm defenseman Drew Petkoff. Swarm of a 6-3 lead. And, you know, the physicality in the second half here kind of picked up where the first half left off. As a shot goes wide, but it's picked up by Kevin Buchanan with a diving shot that is safe by Pullen again. He's been outstanding. I can't underscore it enough. Here's Evans. Pullen comes up with another save. Hey, Drew, is Pullen this good in practice?
Oh, absolutely.
Finally come out with an offensive possession. 15 left to shoot. Jordan Hall works around a defender, goes inside, shoots and scores!
The old man going out airborne there.
Jordan Hall's third goal of the year was a nifty one as he had to work around a couple of defenders and then worked over the right shoulder again of Evan Kirk.
It's gonna sound weird, but everything Jordan does is thoughtful, and he's a smart player, and that's a brilliant play where everyone assumes when you start diving to the far side, as soon as he takes off, he dumps it back on the short side just as the goalie's leaning off the pipe to try to get to the far side.
And very important too, there was a Swarm player who was down low. He kind of vacated as Jordan's defender had his back to that area. Oh,
here comes Chad Tutton in all alone, shoots and scores! And they're going to give it off. They're going to say he's in the crease.
Third one tonight.
And Tutton is waiting for the challenge flag. Let's see if we can see a replay here. Tutton thought he was not in the crease. And you're getting a look at it up top right now. And Tutton, from that angle, doesn't look like it. We'll see if Ed Como throws a challenge. Meanwhile, New England on the offensive end with a pass in the middle. Ball's loose on the turf, and the Swarm pick it back up. And the challenge flag thrown out on the turf. And they're going to allow play to continue. Now they're going to whistle it dead. Now, according to NLL rules, they have 20 seconds to throw a challenge flag.
That overhead shot, you couldn't see his foot, which is going to make it tough.
Jordan Hall going to communicate with Sean Grenier and let him know what Coach Como wants to challenge. And now Grenier will walk over to Eddie Como and hear it from him.
I did not see the second replay. I was watching the floor again when we showed the second replay. But the overhead one, it was very tough to see his foot and whether it was in the crease or not.
And I'm not sure if they're going to give the ball back to the Black Wolves here and say he didn't get the challenge flag down in time.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on.
That's what he's motioning. You can see he's talking to the Black Wolves staff as he's telling Glenn Clark that he threw the flag too late.
Now, before in the league, when the challenge flags were first introduced, I believe if you threw the flag too late, they might actually penalize you. So
There's another look at Chad Tutton going towards the goal. I mean, to me, it doesn't look like he's over there. There's a side view somewhere that is probably better suited for that, and nonetheless, the Swarm get a goal anyway.
Definitive proof that Chad was not in the goal, right?
We don't need your stinking review. We'll do this on our own. And here is Lyle Thompson just cutting right past Brett Mann and throws it over the shoulder of Kirk. Lyle with his second goal of the evening.
Yeah, just using a little hitch fake to get Manny stepping up and slips right between the two defenders. Great little hitch fake. Manny steps up. Lyle goes by him.
Stotts now 6 goals on. And another face-off won by the Swarm.
I'm really surprised by this face-off results we're getting here.
And Connor Sellers just rimmed one right off the post. What a scoring opportunity. Did everything right but put it in the back of the cage. That was some great passing. Leave Sellers wide open. And a violation now on the Swarm will give the ball back to the Black Wolves as it looks like Chad Culp is hobbling off, or is that that is Brian Hodling hobbling off for the Black Wolves. Nonetheless, here's Sean Evans sprinting in towards the goal, pulls back up, gets shoved into the corner by Brian Cole. And Crowley fighting for it. Evans picks it back up, tries to dump it in the middle. Nobody home there. As Saunders was the intended target. A low shot is deflected, goes up in the air. And Evans loses his stick, and two Swarm players look like they're going to check each other for a moment.
I think they lost the ball in that white, white logo down there.
You see them both squaring each other up like, hey, wait a minute, we're on the same side here. 6:45 left in the third quarter. Jordan Hall. And Lyle Thompson tries to dump it towards the net. He's off the mark. Hall gets it, but he's checked hard to the turf. And now the Black Wolves have a 2-on-1 advantage, although Lyle Thompson sprinting back quickly.
Hall's looking for a penalty there, but I think the official said he turned, making the check in the back legal.
Crowley sprinting in, pulls it back, tries to connect with Evans in the front, and he can't corral it. Now Kyle Matisse out on the break, all alone, shoots, saved by Evan Kirk rather.
Nice save by Kirk, played the angle beautifully. Didn't really leave much to score on that side.
A good amount of odd man rushes tonight, Brian.
Yeah, several 2-on-1s for both teams and a couple 1-on-1s.
It's an 8-3 lead for the Swarm. And now make it 8-4 after the goal from New England. And Sean Evans looks like he gets his first of the night. Low shot right there. And finally beats Poulin.
Yeah, I think kind of caught him a little bit by surprise. Maybe shot it around the defender's legs. It looks like Poulin did see it, but was a little bit awkward in his footwork.
Evans did a great job of pulling that ball, kind of pushing his stick outside and then kind of pulling it back inside the defender's legs to kind of still use the defender as a screen and make it really hard for the defender to pick up.
Evans' fourth goal of the year. If you would have told Eddie Como you were going to keep Sean Evans scoreless for 2.5 quarters, he would definitely take that.
Absolutely.
And there's Kyle Buchanan as he's matched up against Sellers. Back Poulin comes up with a big save, and that's huge. You know, after you get a They're going to get him for a holding interference call, one or the other.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hold call. That's a tough one. The player was kind of driving himself into the ground, but he did have the arm wrapped around up high.
Yeah. It'll go against Mitch Belisle, 2 minutes for holding. He was doing a great job squaring up against the right there. And you see as his arm comes up, that's tough because he's already going to the ground.
He never actually held him. He kind of fell into his arm.
Tough break for the Swarm. We'll have to respond here on the penalty kill. There's Evans. Crowley in the middle. His shot deflected off the top. Looked like it hit the crossbar, actually.
Yeah, nice little play there, though. Setting the pick on the ball. He comes up off of it, and then the picker makes the cut.
4:53 left. It is an 8-4 lead for the Swarm. We'll come back with the Swarm trying to kill off this penalty. You're watching lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
Let's get off to a great start here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Rush!
It's game time. Rock and roll!
Up, up! Leave him!
Help, help, help! Jeff.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside.
Hey fans, take a look up there at that scoreboard. The Swarm is
Welcome back to Harris Cherokee Casino Field, the Infinite Energy Arena. Mark Zeno, Brian Silcott, and Swarm defender Drew Petkoff here as the Swarm have an 8-4 lead on this power play for the New England Black Wolves. Almost find its way back of the net. Mike Poulin out of position, but quickly gets back. Mitch Belisle in the penalty box, and the Swarm will come out on a shorthanded opportunity here and at least try to kill some of this penalty. Alex Krepintsek working back towards the middle of the floor. As the Swarm get the right personnel on the floor, 17 seconds on. Chad Tutton. There's Shane Jackson. And Randy stops with a long shot that misses the net, and they go a shot clock violation on the Swarm. And New England will come out on offense here as we're under a minute left in the penalty. On the floor for the Swarm is Noble, Storos, Cole, and Ethan O'Connor. Another save by Poulin. Wow.
As Drew mentioned earlier, they don't have a lot of power play goals. Statistically, New England has the best power play in the league. They were 2 out of 3 coming in, and I think they were 1 for 1 prior to this one. So they're 3 of 4 on the year.
Well, there's 2 more seconds in the penalty than the shot clock, so if the Swarm manages correctly, they'll kill off this penalty at a minimum. And there is Lyle Thompson, and they're going to say that
another crease violation.
A crease violation is a no goal, but he put it right in the back of the cage.
This one, I think his foot was definitely in the crease. It looked like to me. Oh,
that is close.
That's really close.
And the challenge flag comes out. Eddie Como's challenge flag out.
And you might as well throw it. I mean, the odds of him using 2 by the end of the game are slim, but that one may be. I don't know. I don't know if you can be able to tell.
Closer than we thought originally.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell.
Yeah, originally when I saw the play live, I really thought his foot was in the crease, but it's after seeing that, I'm sure.
You think Eddie Como's just tired of too many goals being waved off at this point and said, screw it, I'm going to review one? One of these I'll get reviewed.
He's got the flags burning a hole in his pocket.
Now, I didn't see what was going on down in the New England's offensive end, but he could have actually thrown that maybe to kind of break up the play, throw the flag out, get the refs to
change it up,
slow it down, and sprinkle in whatever New England was doing.
So again, Sean Grenier walking over. And he will take the helmet off and get on the headset and get a look at this thing. As you said, I think we all thought that it was going to be a crease violation, but it was a lot closer, and it goes back to whether it's conclusive or not as far as...
And this would be the 4th one.
Yes.
Right, and one we're sure should have been a goal. The other one, and one of them we're not sure.
Here's Lyle. I mean, that right there looks like he's on all green. We'd have to see an overhead. Now, does the ball get back in the cage before he hits the ground? Yes.
Yep. Yes, it does.
As the rule states, the ball has to be over the line in the back of the cage before a foot or any part of the body comes down. That is a goal.
That's a goal.
That is a goal. Yeah. That is a great challenge by Ed Como.
Yeah, it looks like there's space there.
Ball's clearly in the back of the net before Lyle comes down. That is a goal. And that's going to be Thompson's 3rd of the night. Let's get one more on the overhead view just to be sure.
You can't
Hard to see the stick in the way right there, but
that one from behind, it looked like his foot was clear of the line.
I mean, right there is a beautiful shot. That is fantastic camera work right there.
Look at that.
That is clearly a goal. That is outstanding, and the fans see it as well, and that's going to be a goal for the Georgia Swarm.
Nice work with the cameras there, man.
After further review, the call is changed. Good goal.
And give it to Lyle Thompson. There you go.
So Lyle Thompson putting on the aerial show tonight. That one was nice. I like the first one even better, though, where he went up over the goalie's shoulder with it. But that one was beautiful as well.
So Ed Como validated by throwing that challenge flag. And the Swarm now increased their lead to 9-4, again matching their largest lead tonight. Now Mitch Belisle has to go back. That's a shorthanded goal.
Shorthanded goal,
Mitch
yes.
Belisle has to go back to the penalty box for 6 seconds.
That's a big goal, though. That's a huge goal, as a matter of fact, especially considering that they were shorthanded. To me, at least, 5 goals seems much more comfortable than 4.
And for Glenn Clark's squad, the New England Black Wolves, he's got to be even more frustrated because his team isn't scoring on the power play, not getting on the power play, and when you finally do, now you give up a shorthanded tally.
Shorthanded goals are rough. They're rough to swallow.
I mentioned it before. To me, it's worth mentioning again. Just that Lyle Thompson has been on. He looks like a totally different player this year.
And I think Drew hit it the nail on the head. The poise thing. He just looks so much more comfortable on the floor.
Well, and Drew, you know, to the uneducated lacrosse eye, a.k.a. me, you know, he just looks like he has a better presence out there. Like he's just more in control. Whereas last year, he kind of was a little tentative. Now he feels like I want the ball in my stick.
That's definitely, control is a good word for that. He definitely is a lot more in control, both with the ball, with his passing, and with his shooting. Everything is a lot more, I'll call it mindful, it seems like.
Here's Miles Thompson. As by the way, comes up with another big save as we're approaching 2.5 left in the third quarter. And coming around the screen is Miles, and he scores! Hey there, little brother, I can do it too.
Now they're rolling, I would say. Again, gets the feet set in that right shoulder. That's the third one I think we saw him go from about that same spot with feet set, putting it up high over Kirk's right shoulder.
And we're going to get a goaltending change for the Black Wolves. And Doug Jamieson is going to come in between the pipes now as Evan Kirk. And I was just going to mention, you know, Evan Kirk, it feels like that wall was starting to break down. You know, like all the shots that he's been facing, eventually we're starting to go in.
Yeah, and he has faced a lot of shots, and you know, he may even be a little bit tired.
I think a big key, if you look at the shots on goal, I think they're even right now, but Georgia's got a lot more good quality shots. Shots from the inside, shots off good pick and roll plays, whereas most of New England shots are shots from the outside where Mike Poulin is making the saves that you kind of expect him to make. He's stepping out, he's seeing the ball well, and he's making those good saves.
And oh, by the way, the Swarm win another face-off off the best face-off man in the league.
And that's a good goalie, right? When they have a great save percentage, the first thing they do is thank the defenders for helping create that situation for them.
So 6 goals, largest lead of the night for the Swarm. $1:40 left in the third quarter, and a low shot right there beats Poulin on his stick side, and that is Pat Saunders with his first tally of the night.
And that one, a quick shot off the pass across the face of the goal, and he kind of caught Poulin moving to his left and put it back on the other side before he could really. I know he didn't. He went 5-hole with it.
Well, you could see Poulin a little frustrated there because I think he saw it and couldn't stop it. So the Black Wolves answer right back.
As a goalie, you don't want to be moving at the time of release, and he was still moving to his left when that ball was released, and just kind of opened up the 5-hole for him.
Ball on the turf, finally picked up by Sheldon Burns, or not picked up, as Ethan O'Connor doing a great job making it work. Finally gets it. And here comes Buchanan, Kyle Buchanan that is, with a pass over to Evans, shot and a save by Poulin. This one off the side of the net after the rebound.
You know, one thing that's interesting is, you know, we talked a lot last year. Coach Coma didn't want to, you know, use his team being young as an excuse for when things didn't go well. But you look at adding Jordan Hall to the mix on offense, and immediately how much more mature this offense looked is pretty incredible.
Jerome Thompson's shot is saved by Jamieson. Swarm get the rebound in a fresh 30 seconds. And here you're looking at Randy Stotts working through traffic, loses the ball, pops up in the air, back on the turf, and the Swarm get it back. And they're going to call a penalty now on the Swarm. And taking that jog to the penalty box without hesitation, Stotts. I think he kind of knew right there that when he lost that ball that
83, 2 minutes holding.
And Stotts with his first penalty of the night. So back to the power play go the Black Wolves. Now 34.5 seconds left. How important is it just for at least 34 to not give up the goal here?
For the Swarm?
Yes.
You know, they're going to get the rest of the power play in the second half anyway.
I always just feel like goals in the last minute of a quarter are such emotional kind of gut punches.
They do. I mean, I think more so on even play.
Big save by Poulin.
Than on the power play. But I'm sure that if Georgia can kill this first part, there's going to be a nice discussion during the break that, okay, you know, we got another minute 30 we got to kill off here quickly.
Well, not only that, you get a chance to catch a break and kind of reorganize and things of that nature. As Poulin with a save at the last second. And the Swarm do hold off the first 34.5 seconds of the power play and maintain a 5-goal lead here. We'll take a timeout, come back with a final 15 minutes. Your Georgia Swarm lead the New England Black Wolves 10-5. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
He's got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
Clayton Little, service wanting for almost 20 years. Online at ClaytonLittle.com.
Welcome back to Harris Cherokee Casino Field and the Infinite Energy Arena. Swarm lead the Black Wolves 10-5. Final 15 minutes of play here as the Swarm look to improve to 3-0 for the first time since 2008. And New England continuing their power play as Randy Stotts in the box for another minute and 7 seconds. And here is Saunders. Tries to dump it in to look like Riley O'Connor. Ball's loose now on the turf. And there's Evans back to Saunders and a low shot save by Poulin.
Who's that goalie?
And an outlet pass to Krepinczak, sprinting into the offensive zone all alone. Tries to look. Shane Jackson had a small window there, but he pulled it up wisely.
I thought he was going to press it there.
Well, the Swarm will have a chance to kill off some more of this power play as we approach 30 seconds left in the 2-minute minor to Stotts. Lyle Thompson comes around a screen. Working, now cutting inside back to Matisse for a long shot that is saved by Doug Jamieson.
I think Lyle could have peeled off there. He cut to the middle and he was wide open. He could have peeled off there and gotten a pass right back
no
on
one
the crease.
picked it. If he had slid down the side instead.
And I mentioned that Doug Jamieson came in. He's only played a minute and 52 seconds in the 2 games so far prior to so he's already played longer than that. As his shot goes wide, Stotts comes out of the box at a perfect timing. Rebound goes right to him, and he's going to sprint to the zone, sends it across to Jordan Hall, dumps it back into Thompson. His shot was wide. And here is Sheldon Burns. And a behind-the-head shot looked like by Evans there, goes out near middle of the field, and chasing it down is Liam Burns. And now a violation on the Swarm will give the ball back to the Black Wolves. And we're going to get a penalty here now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, delay of game call.
For not allowing him to pick up the ball and proceed, right?
Yeah, impeding his progress. It was interesting. We had to talk about this particular call, and it's a lot more of a judgment call now because actually the offensive player, so in this case it was Chad Tutton, he could have potentially gotten a penalty if the ref thought he was kind of running into the guy on purpose. But in this case, the New England player really kind of positioned himself so that neither of the two Swarm players around him could pick up the ball and go to the net with it.
And he almost kind of put his arms around Tutton as well, I think, which made it easier for the official.
Left to shoot, some sloppy passing here by the Swarm. Jordan Hall has to corral it and work his way back towards midfield. And Lyle Thompson with a shot, score! Nothing erases sloppy passing like a goal, and that's exactly what Lyle Thompson did right there.
Yeah, nice pass to Lyle. Lyle took his time here. The defense really slow to step out. Lyle took his time, beats him.
Yeah, Miles Thompson missed the pass originally, and New England overcommitted in chasing the ball, which just left Lyle Thompson alone right at that shooter's.
Well, and again, there was some, Stotts and Lyle were playing this little two-man game, and for one reason or another, they couldn't keep the ball in each other's sticks, and so it had to go back out where Jordan Hall corralled it near the middle of the floor, middle of the field, and that's where it reset for Lyle, who buried it in the back of the cage. So the Swarm back up to a 6-goal lead, 11-5. Poulin with a big save down low. It's just unreal watching him tonight. And Poulin gets it out to Sellers, who works down the left side of the field. Matisse now up the boards. And he gets pushed out and has to dump it off to Shane Jackson. Jackson gives it to Stotts. Stotts being checked up, works inside his shot way wide of the net. And
love that pass from Jackson, though, to get it across the Stotts there. He rifled that ball through the defense.
So Lyle Thompson with 4 goals tonight. Had 4 goals coming into this season on 2 games. Now he's got 4 at 9 alone. And there's Buchanan, Kevin Buchanan with a shot that's deflected, doesn't make its way to the cage. Poulin with a stop. Somehow that ball got through it, and Poulin came up with a save.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he knew he stopped it.
Just, even when there's not that much going on, just the energy on the Swarm team at both ends of the floor is spectacular. A lot of fun to watch.
Lyle Thompson up against the boards. Matched up against Bill O'Brien, and the ball goes back near the middle of the floor and has to be thrown back and saved. Ball's loose on the turf, finally picked up by New England. And O'Brien gives it up to McMichael. And a low shot saved by Poulin. Ball's loose on the turf. Scramble for it. Poulin doesn't have his stick, has to pick it up finally. And the Swarm get it. And Chad Tutton works his way over the middle of the floor over to Liam Burns. It's one of those nights where a play like that happens and it ends up in the Swarm stick because they've been hustling for the past 45 minutes.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things, the ball bounces your way. Usually bounces your way when everybody's working their tail off.
Jerome Thompson shot saved by Jameson. And here comes New England. Now the clock may start to become the enemy. 10 minutes left in a 6-goal deficit. Drew, when you're in this spot, how do you try to, if you're New England, how are you trying to overcome? I mean, obviously you have to put the ball in the back of the net, but the clock becomes not your friend.
Right, and I think if you look at where New England struggled tonight, it's been getting the ball to the middle of the floor. So, talked about how good Poulin's been. He's been saving all those outside shots, and they've really not challenged him too much from the inside.
Here's the save from Poulin. The ball loose, goes right between his legs and rolls out, and that's how the Swarm get the ball back. They have a 6-goal lead. We'll take a timeout, come back with the last 9:52 here on NLLTV.com.
And that now brings us to our brand new segment, Versus. Last week, we had Curtis Dixon of the Calgary Roughnecks going up against Jerome Thompson. 2 incredible goals to start our Versus segment. And the fans voted, and coming out on top was Jerome Thompson, 60% of the votes with his behind-the-back goal against the Saskatchewan Rush. I don't know about this one. I was betting on Curtis Dixon coming out on top of this one. I think that Tyler Carlson really should have had the shot by Jerome Thompson, but nonetheless, fans have voted. That is our winner. And this week, he looks to take on Vancouver Stealth goaltender Ty Belanger that made it across on a wide open net and absolutely robbed Jeff Schattler. Let's have a look at the 2 goals. All right, so last week's champion, Jerome Thompson, eluded his older Jeremy, split the double team before shooting a behind-the-back shot, which beat Tyler Carlson. That was in week 2. And now let's meet this week's challenger. We head to Vancouver for the Stealth home opener. Tyler Digby is going to cut inside, feed Jeff Schattler, who has a wide-open net, and Belanger stretches out to make the incredible save. Schattler doesn't miss many of those. All right, fans, who have you got?
At the Infinite Energy Arena, the Georgia Swarm lead the New England Black Wolves 11-5. And the Black Wolves have come out on offense here alongside Brian Silcott and Swarm defender Drew Petkoff. I'm Mark Zinno. Swarm looking to go 3-0 for the first time since 2008. And if they can finish it off, Mike Poulin will be a big reason why he's coming up with another stop there.
Absolutely. Mike Poulin's played fantastic. He's been really doing a great job stepping out on those outside shots.
Oh, Krepensek just made Zach Reed eat a lacrosse ball.
Watching that offensive set by New England, one guy goes one-on-one, gives it to another guy. He goes one-on-one, gives it back to the other guy, goes one-on-one. That's not the way to go about getting the inside. They need to move the ball, start dodging on bad approach angles instead of trying to dodge on defenders that are just standing right in front of them.
That's definitely a good call. They need to work together as a team to get the 2-man game going and work off ball to create opportunities.
Poulin to get credit for the save crossbar as it went all the way back on the other end of the field. And another save right there that he gets total credit for. But the Black Wolves up near 50 shots so far. And Poulin has been up to the task on most of them.
Yeah, the official shot clock, or official shots on goal count has New England up at this point.
But as you said, I mean, so many of them have been outside shots of just winging the ball at the cage with a prayer that it might go in rather than working, taking the time, getting it on the inside and finishing with authority from a good position on the floor.
That shot doesn't make it towards Poulin, but a rebound picked up by the Swarm. A shot clock violation nonetheless. Now the officials have to separate 2 of the players, and the Swarm will come out on offense as we're nearing 8 minutes left in the final quarter. Lyle Thompson with 4 goals tonight. Randy Stotts, a goal of his own.
I assume we have a penalty coming here. Pulling the goalie, 6-on-5.
And Stotts sends it over to Jackson. Tries to connect with Miles Thompson. Does not. Stotts gets it back. Now Shea Jackson just misses. And finally going to get a whistle. And we'll get the explanation. Nonetheless, the Swarm are headed to the power play, and it looks like it's going to be Chad Culp heading to the box. I'm sorry, that is Dan Ball, not Chad Culp.
All right, fans, say it with me. 39, take off.
And I did not hear the official make the call. Did you see what he signaled there?
No, I didn't see the original call. I didn't hear what he roughing. Possibly when there was kind of a bit of a scrum out in front of the bench, but I didn't think he was on the floor at the time, so I'm not really sure.
You start to get a sense, as I mentioned in the clock, that another Swarm goal here on the power play might be enough to put a dagger in this. Not that we haven't seen crazier things happen in box lacrosse, but big save by Poulin on the shorthand. Wow.
Really good pass there by Bill O'Brien to thread the needle.
Great pass and a great catch on the other end of it, too.
90 seconds left in the Swarm power play.
Bill O'Brien not known for his deft stick skills.
As Jerome Thompson pump faking, giving it back to Jordan Hall over to Stotts.
Well, as one of those players who's also not known.
And Jordan Hall buries it in the back of the cage. Second goal of the night.
I was going to say, I got to give him a shout out when he makes a good play like that as one of those players who also doesn't really get those opportunities very often.
Jordan Hall, however, does. He's been a great player in this league for a long time.
I mean, it had a lane and just decided to send a frozen rope towards Doug Jamieson. It gets in.
Yeah, feet set, pins it in the corner.
7-goal lead, the largest of the night.
Lyle taking the draw here?
That he is against Jay Thornburg. And the Swarm win the draw. I really feel like that we haven't talked about that enough, how many face-offs they've won against the best face-off.
Yeah, Sellers has done a fantastic job today. You know, Thornburg was a 60% almost face-off guy last year.
And here is Miles over to Kyle Matisse, tries to dump it inside to Lyle, and it's intercepted. And Sheldon Burns comes out. And that pass, I think, was intended for, it looked like Thornburg, but did it hit the back of Kyle Matisse?
No, I just think it was just a hard angle to make that catch. And I think New England try and force things a little bit too much, kind of like that, where it was maybe not the best angle. But again, they're kind of desperate at this point.
6 minutes left. Here's Jerome Thompson with a shot that's saved by Jamieson. And they're going to get an over and back call. Apparently Jamieson didn't get a piece of it. And the Black Wolves will have 30 seconds on the offensive end. Here's Evans working through traffic. His bounce shot is wide of the net. Ball pops up in the air, loose to the turf, picked up by Sellers. And Sellers tries to sprint past two defenders and does. He's out in the clear and then pulls up. Sends it across to Jackson, back to Matisse. Shot saved by Jamieson. And we're going to get a violation on the Swarm. Jerome Thompson laid the hit.
You could see Matisse's disappointment in not scoring there. He thought he had him.
I think he was definitely looking for that pass, and then once the defender kind of went to Jerome, it kind of surprised Kyle and left him all alone on a breakaway, and he kind of just took that quick shot.
That's the second breakaway that the Swarm have pulled up on. At this point in time, more important to kind of kill some clock when you have the ball in your stick. Saved by Jamieson. You would have thought they would have taken a little longer on that shot clock there, guys.
Yes.
Sheldon Burns coming in alone, gets matched up with a defender. And Poulin with another save.
You could see just by the way Poulin walked away from his cage that he's playing with a lot of confidence.
There's Sheldon Burns, throws it behind his head, and Poulin catches it, and then plops down and walks confidently to the bench as the guy who's keeping the Swarm here in the lead. We'll take a timeout, come back as the Georgia Swarm lead the New England Black Wolves 12-5. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on NLLTV.com.
And now Mia, over to you for the unsung hero, a player who may not have been getting on the score sheet, but really made an impact with his team in week 2 of lacrosse. Week 3 of lacrosse.
Well, my unsung hero for this week, he got on the scoreboard once. He had 1 goal and 1 assist in the game, but it is what he did on the back end that really impressed me, and it is Bradley Cree from the Toronto Rock this week. Just take a look at what he was able to do on faceoffs, winning 18 out of the 25 faceoffs that he took 72%, which is huge. He struggled against the Rochester Nighthawks in this area, but really came out strong, making sure that Toronto had the advantage right away. So take a look at the score. I mean, going into halftime, Toronto led 18-2. They held the defending champs to just 2 goals in the first half, and that had to do with the incredible defensive performance from guys like Bradley Cree. So I really liked what I saw from him and what I'm seeing from all of Toronto's transition game, really. And that is why unsung hero this week.
Arena, where the Swarm lead the Black Wolves. I'm Mark Zeno, joined by Brian Sokot and Swarm defender Drew Petkoff. And we're under 5 minutes left here in the 4th quarter, and the Swarm with a 7-goal lead, 12-5. And now it's just about finishing this thing out, gentlemen.
Absolutely. We talked last time I was with you about, at this point it becomes how to not, I don't want to say how to not lose the game, but that's, you just want to make sure that every possession that you have on offense as the Swarm, you're doing a good job of using the shot clock like you had mentioned before. And especially once you get that shot off or once the shot clock expires, making sure that you're not giving up transition opportunities. So watch for maybe the Swarm to roll the ball in the corner, use the whole shot clock, and just be really diligent about getting to the bench.
Yeah, making sure they always have that guy rotating back up.
Jordan Hall says, no, we're going to score.
Yeah, it doesn't matter much if we just keep throwing the ball in the net now.
That definitely also works.
Jordan Hall, his third of the night, fifth on the season. And the Swarm lead is now 8.
Yeah, Jordan Hurd is talking about covering the back end. He's like, why do you need to cover the back end? I'm just going to score.
We'll have plenty of time to get back after this goal right here, gentlemen.
And it's kind of an isolation play, and it's happened a few times now for Georgia where the player at the top is ready to go one-on-one. The player at the bottom vacates by either coming up or behind the net. And so the support player that would normally be there to support that one-on-one if the defense gets beat, he's on the other side of the floor now.
Fully engaged because everyone's active. The guys are fully engaged on the backside. Makes it really hard, really difficult to help across.
Exactly. As a defensive player in that situation, I'm looking for that help behind me. And if that doesn't come, then...
Big save by Poulin, but the deflection, I think he collided with Connor Seller going in the back of the net.
Yeah, hit off of somebody, I think, and careened into the goal.
Let's take another look at this here. And that was a shot from Saunders. Ball goes up in the air. Nobody hit it. Just took a funny bounce.
It was
both Sellers
the backspin, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you see it right there. And hits the ground. And
yep, it was the backspin.
So we had some extracurriculars here. Sean Evans was getting into it. I can't see who the Swarm player was, but Sean Evans, I think, just got kicked out.
And you see Sean Evans right now walking back to the bench. And Drew, I was going to ask you about that as far as, because we talked about that in the first game against Saskatchewan. As we see Evans heading back to the locker room, you're right, he just get a game misconduct. He's done.
Yep.
Yeah, he either got 10 or I assume it was a 10-minute misconduct, but.
And also heading to the penalty box is Ryan Hoderling.
Although if you got a 5-minute major, it'd be gone as well at this point, but I think it was probably a game misconduct.
Yeah. Hoderling will serve the 2-minute minor, it looks like, as the in-home player. Well, they're giving... Evans was ejected. They have 45 up for the Swarm heading to the penalty box, which would be Jason Noble and Hoderling for the New England Black Wolves as the officials try to sort this out. The goal still stands, a 13-6 lead for the Swarm now.
Right, this was just after the goal. Noble and Evans were kind of getting after each other. Nothing really happened. Ref sent them to the box, and I think Evans was talking his whole way. So ref just kicked him out.
Jason Noble signing autographs in the penalty box. You can do that when you're up this late by as many goals as the Swarm are. Although a nifty shot attempt right there. And they're saying no goal as Jake Dorenberg with a diving shot from behind the cage. And Glenn Clark's going to throw the challenge flag. Well, at this point, what has he got to lose?
Yep.
Can't take the challenges with you, so didn't even need to see a replay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a situation where you might as well, because this could, I mean, it's still be a 6-goal deficit, but it could help change the tide, and you really want to at least end the game with some momentum going into your next game, at the very least.
Mentioned Sean Evans getting ejected, came into tonight leading his team in penalty minutes. So he feels confident he's going to hold on to that lead.
He's going to hold on to that lead, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Sean Evans is a fun player to watch play this game. I mean, he's got a motor. He just goes. He competes to the end. Yeah, the penalties are tough, but you love the guy that competes like Sean Evans.
And Drew, while we're taking a look at this replay here for a moment, we see this a lot. When the team is up big, guys just start hitting guys late. They just start taking shots. Is it frustration, whatever it may be? But when you're the Swarm in this spot, you want to avoid getting into any stupidity that's going to maybe cost you something later on in another game.
Definitely, it's definitely a case when a team's up big that, you know, it feels like nothing's going your way, and so you kind of want to just take your frustrations out on the other team.
I just heard Sean Evans 10-minute misconduct and a game misconduct. Here's See, right there is the ball, and it's not in yet.
Now it's in, but and you can't tell if he's touching the
can't tell
ground.
if it's
You
touching
can't
the
see his
ground
upper
or not.
body. If you then go with the other view and see whether his upper body touches the
I don't
floor.
know if this is conclusive, but we'll get the official word from Sean Grenier.
After review, there's no return. The ball crossing prior to the ball coming down.
They are going to call it a goal. They're saying a ball crossed before prior to him landing. So that is a goal, and it is a 13-7 game now.
I thought he was going to side with you and say that it was just inconclusive. Because I couldn't really, like you guys were saying, I couldn't really tell when the ball was in versus where his body was in relation to the turf. So it's a really tough call to kind of overturn.
I think they can use a compilation of two clips. So say, looking at it from the other angle, say his body is up until this point, and then see when the ball went in and make the determination.
This is a big face-off here, and the Swarm did not win it. It would have been nice to have had that possession coming right out. So a little momentum heading Black Wolves' way. Game not over yet as we have under 4 minutes left. A shot from McMichael, saved by Poulin, but rebound goes right back to New England. Sean Evans not in the game. Chad Culp scores. And all of a sudden,
yeah, that's the dangerous thing about a play like that. It takes a while to make the call. New England gets to regather themselves. They come out of it with a positive thing, and all of a sudden they're feeling good about themselves. And 4 or 5 goals quickly has happened in this league before.
Culp with his second of the night, third on the year. And I spent a lot of time applauding the Swarm face-off tonight. And now they have lost 3 in a row.
I'm going to keep my eye on Evan Kirk. He started to make his way toward the bench in the last possession, but stopped.
There's a great defensive play by Connor Sellers to knock it loose.
He was inching up that time as well. Nice defensive play there.
And I think really smart to bring it over half and really slow it down, because they had pretty much a 2-on-1 opportunity, but again, use that shot clock, use that time off the clock. And New England still has a penalty.
Yeah, Swarm are on the power play here. And a shot clock resets for the Swarm, which is huge. And Matisse back over to Jerome, flips it behind to Shane Jackson, shot saved. Jamison rebound goes to Matisse, quickly throws it over to Stotts, and Stotts will reset. That was a huge rebound for the Swarm.
Yeah, I thought Matisse was going to pick that up and try to finish.
I thought he was going to,
he
go right at
decided
the
to
net.
flip it out and reset in the power play.
Thornburg intercepts a pass, looked like it was intended for, I think Matisse knew it was a pass, but I think he thought it was a shot. But last here comes New England. And their pass is off the mark, and Ethan O'Connor picks up the loose ball. And as the Swarm have 5 seconds left on their power play.
So as we go down under 2 minutes, I think the Swarm have to be feeling pretty good about the 5-goal lead now.
Ryan Hoderling comes back on the floor. Jason Noble still in the penalty box for the Swarm, although he is serving as a save from Jamison.
And the goalie's coming out. So it'll be 6 on 5.
Yep, and Evan Kirk heads to the bench as we're under 2 minutes left. Here's Buchanan. Noble is serving a matching penalty, so still another Black Wolves player in the box as well. Save for Poulin as 90 seconds remain. And Evan Kirk has to sprint all the way back to the cage. And does. Swarm have the luxury of taking their time at this point, not in a rush. And so Swarm are going to go on to go to 3-0 for the first time since 2008. And the Black Wolves are going to fall to 0-3. And Matisse is just letting this clock go down. He'll throw it in the corner. Shot clock expire as we hit 60 seconds left.
I remember our call with Ed Cuomo before the season, and yeah, you could feel his confidence on the phone that he felt really, really good about his squad. But you never know until you start playing the games what you have. You never know what other people have. And going 3-0 is just a great way to start the season.
Well, and Kevin Crowley gets a goal that'll pad his stat sheets, but ultimately will not affect the outcome of the game. As it is a 13-9 game. to get the official word, as all goals are reviewed under 2 minutes, that it was a good goal. There's nothing really to dispute. So, and Evan Kirk back in the box, as the Black Wolves will have 6 guys out on the floor. And Poulin just sliding to his right. Crowley buried it on his left.
Crowley getting right to the doorstep, right on the crease to make that goal count. And it's one of the first shots I feel like I've seen.
With 44 seconds left, they finally got inside of the Swarm defense.
Yeah. And I don't think the Swarm knew he was there, because you saw the 5 guys kind of on the outside playing the house. Didn't see the big man sneak in.
That's a big dude to miss in the middle.
And face-off won by Connor Sellers with an empty net. Staring out there, and he buries it. Sellers puts the exclamation point on the Georgia Swarm victory.
I think the Swarm will be finishing this game on a power play.
And that may be Sellers' first ever NLL goal.
Yeah, you see them flip the ball to the bench. That's his first goal.
They'll save that one.
He really wanted that one.
He worked hard for that empty netter. He worked really hard.
Well, he's done a great job on draws, so he really did earn that one.
Absolutely.
I know you guys will give him a little guff for keeping the empty net goal, but it is his first one. And Sellers comes off after the extracurricular activity, and Jerome Thompson will take the face-off against Thornburg.
And it is a power play on the Swarm for that shot after the goal.
Say it with me, page 17,
Yeah, it's Zach Reed who will head to the penalty box for the last 36 seconds.
Either the cross-check against the boards or the little bit of a punch afterwards.
I'm surprised I let that face-off go that long. And so we're down to the last couple of seconds here. Poulin with another save. That is the 60th shot on goal for the Black Wolves tonight. And although the stat sheet will say Poulin gave up 9 goals, which is still very impressive, below his goals against average coming in tonight, that's not even indicative of how he played for the first 45 minutes. Basically stonewalling New England at every turn. And the horn sounds as the Georgia Swarm to 3-0 on the season, defeating the Black Wolves 14-9. Gentlemen, an impressive victory here as the Swarm start 3-0.
Absolutely. I said to Drew, I could consider this a dominant performance. I mean, they really played well both ends of the floor. They won face-offs without their face-off guy. They moved the ball well on offense. And as we were just saying, they had an virtually impenetrable defense.
And you know, Drew, we talked about the team being young last year, and Ed Como didn't want to use it as an excuse, but maturation from last year to this looks like a different team.
Definitely, especially when you look at all the offensive players moving the ball consistently. Everything just looks a lot smoother overall.
3 stars in the game for the Georgia Swarm: Mike Poulin, Lyle Thompson, who had 4 goals, Jordan Hall, who had 3. The Georgia Swarm defeat the New England Black Wolves 14-9. For Drew Petkoff, Brian Sokot, I'm Mark Zeno. Thanks for watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on NLLTV.com.